comfort both the government and then the private investor and even the public, because we also have communication experts who know how to communicate PPPs, the value proposition of PPPs, you know. So we are a strong response to the importance and the inevitability of PPPs to meet our infrastructure and public service gap.
All right. Mr. Mark, sorry. What simple instructions do you think Nigerians can actually use today to make, let's say, the next 5 big projects possible and quite bankable?
Please, if these projects are not executed now, they may not be executed in the next 15, 20 years if the government does not have the money. So if there are people who feel they can invest their money, provide the services, make modest returns, manage, maintain the assets, and return it back to government in the next 15, 20 years, encourage them. The government should encourage them. The public should encourage them. The public should not say, we can't pay, because you're already paying. The public should not say it's not our assets and it's vandalized. It is your asset. We are only holding it in trust for you for the next 15, 20 years. If you allow miscreants to loot it, you are looting your own assets. So everybody has a role to play in this, you know, and that's the message to everyone, the governments, the operators themselves, and also the public that we intend to serve. Thank you.
Can actually bring communities, locally along when it comes to this privatization or public-private partnership?
Yeah, sure. So let me just give you an example. Our markets, go and check their toilets. You can't use those toilets, And the market management can have a PPP arrangement, and the toilets are going to be speckling clean, and life is easy for everybody. Even at that level, because some people don't see, we only see the big road, the big airport, and all that, and then, but even as basic and as close to the people as toilets in public spaces, in parks, in markets, says you can't have a relationship with them and then have an arrangement that is sustainable. So it's the community has a role to play. They must have a role to play and be willing to play it well too.
Can you highlight some of the successful or ongoing PPP projects that are in Nigeria currently?
Okay. Yes. There's this MM2 with Mark-Adeyemi, which was done during Chief Olusegun Obasanjo's regime. Is still running. That's Murtala Muhammad 2. It's one of the best run in this country. Anytime I go there, I love it. That's always been so, So that, and then there are a lot of PPPs in the ports. I'm so impressed about the ports. So many terminals, 36 in the ports, different terminals that are run under PPP arrangement, So I think the coastal route is supposed to be a PPP arrangement between, I think government is taking 30%. That was what the government said. I hope that's still what is happening. And I think the ICT backbone, as an ICT backbone, communication backbone, that I think the National Communications Commission is running with a private operator. We also have 1 or 2 water facilities, but at the estate level, there have been some PPPs in water and some in the time past, but they eventually were cancelled. So, but I know in terms of roads, there were some attempts that failed. Even the same by Courtney that wanted them to try the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, but for so many reasons, it didn't work. The government had to buy it back and take it back from him. So I think there's some hospitals, about 2 hospitals in Abuja that also has PPP arrangement. And then, of course, a lot of different variants of maybe the private sector operating the commercial area of a particular institutions and all that, bringing them in to help them to collect revenue. So those are different shades of PPP, but those real big ones that we can always showcase anytime, you can, of course, the power sector, when they brought in the discos, the distribution companies, and then there are even some of the power producing plants that are run by private organizations. So a lot has happened in the power sector. Yes, there are challenges, but I appeal to the government to make sure that they don't allow those things to die. Rather, they should look for how to support those companies to make sure that they are still running. Yes, they should clean it up. They should deal with inefficiencies. They shouldn't condone that. But at the same time, they must not allow those things to collapse and return it fully back to government. The private sector will still do better in a lot of in those places. They need to make concessionary loans available to them, and some of the time they need to have maybe some uptake contracts with them, because some of them, they produce, there's no uptake. What is uptaking it? And then the issue of tariff too, very important. If you look at their books and it's that they need to charge a particular tariff, and you know that the people can't pay, then the government needs to come with subsidy. It's still going to cost the government less to get those services available than taking it over and running it itself and then running it aground again. So a lot of them are there, and some are also in the budding stage. Hopefully, they would come up stream soon, and then we can have good stories too.
Mark, thank you so much. Mr. Mark-Adeyemi Adedayo, because of time, we would have to end the conversation right here. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
All right. Thank you. And this is where we end the conversation on why Nigeria is not embracing public-private partnership. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and we'll go on a short break. When we return, our conversation continues.
With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her.
That we don't have any choice